What's up, you guys? Welcome to our newest fix and flip here on Cindy Street in Chandler, Arizona. I'm super excited to show you guys this one. This is a quick cosmetic flip. We're gonna make it look super nice, copying a lot of the same finishes that we picked over at our Hannibal project. Let's get inside, let's go through some of the details, and I'll tell you about some of the decisions that we're making to really maximize the ARV on this property. So one of the first things I wanna point out about this property and why we chose to take it on is because of the location. This property is located in Chandler, Arizona, and it's actually only a mile from the Chandler Mall. Chandler and Gilbert, Arizona are the two hottest markets here in Arizona. Knowing that we're getting into a product that we're able to put onto the marketplace and give it all the upgrades that it needs, we know this property is going to sell really, really fast, and there's a huge demand in this area. Most of the properties that you're going to see going for sale here are relatively dated, so putting something brand new out here is going to be beautiful. So as we enter the property, one of the first things you're going to notice is that we've actually already started the demo on this property. So right now they're already scraping the popcorn ceilings. We had a huge wall that was coming out that you can see that they tore out here. When you have a vaulted ceiling, what's really cool is that the trusses are actually connecting at the very, very top, and they're connecting down to the sides of the walls. So you don't have to worry about any of these walls in between really being load bearing, because it's almost like the entire frame of the ceiling is sitting on top of the outside external walls. So we knew we could remove this. It wouldn't be too big of a job. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to wrap the entire kitchen all the way around this way, and then we're going to put a 7-foot island. So when you walk into the property, now you're gonna be invited with this beautiful island. It's going to have the stove, it's gonna have your sink over here. I always try to put the sink where there's a window. So luckily we already had the sink where the window was, so it makes this a really cosmetic flip, which is fantastic. Let's work our way over to the den, which is right on the other side of the kitchen wall here. So something that's really cool about this little den area is most of the properties in this neighborhood do not have this den area, and that's because this used to be a covered patio that they actually closed in, they vented, they permitted this area, so it's actually a really, really cool, awesome area. Imagine here you could have your own formal dining room area, you can make this a little den area for maybe some additional kids that you have, or you can make it just a 4th bedroom if you wanted to. The only funky thing is that it starts to go into the primary bedroom where they put a cute little pocket door, which we can see. Really cool space to have back here, and they actually kept the flow going by putting an additional set of sliders on this side as well. Something really cool about this property is that it already came with all upgraded windows. It had a brand new roof, it had a brand new AC, so most of the high ticket heavy items that we have to put into a property were already taken care of. So when I say this is the cosmetic flip, we're literally talking about adding some can lights, we're talking about doing new floors, new kitchen cabinets, upgrading the bathrooms, and that's it. We're trying to stick around a $50,000 to $60,000 budget all in on this property. This property is 1,616 square feet, so this should only take us about 3 to 4 weeks in and out, just because of how simple this project is. All right, so walking into the primary bedroom, there's a few things that I want to point out. Number one, I really love that we have vaulted ceilings in the primary bedroom. In fact, most of the bedrooms in this property actually have vaulted ceilings, which is a really cool value add. And you'll notice we're actually doing can lights in all of the bedrooms as we continue to walk through this, because we are going for a mid 500K price point. We're gonna try to list this property for around 535. So we wanna make sure that we're giving a luxury elevated feel to the property, because it's not a massive property, and we know we're trying to hit the top of the price points in this neighborhood. So we wanna give them as much as we possibly can. Now, one thing I'd also like to point out is the old seller just upgraded all of the outlets and switches in the property. So in one of my most recent videos that you guys just watched on Dobson, the townhouse, we talked about always changing out the outlets and switches. That's not something that we're gonna have to do in this property, because the old seller just upgraded everything in the property. Let's go check out the primary bathroom as well. So as we work our way in here, we already got our vanity removed. We're gonna have to center the light, which they already centered this, which is great. Electricians and plumbers have been here all day. We had a jacuzzi tub in the primary bathroom. Now, when I first came in and looked at it, the jets looked a little bit funky. I thought to myself, well, this may not work. We need to take a deeper look at this, because ultimately in the primary bedroom, I try not to have a shower tub combo situation going on. Is it a value add to have? Maybe. For me personally, I don't love them. I'd rather it be a really inviting big walk-in shower. So I said, if this thing does not work, we're not going to be replacing it with the tub. So let's double check that as fast as we possibly can. And lo and behold, the thing doesn't work. So they're gonna be ripping the entire thing out. And I said, hey, do we need to move the drain? What's the best way for us to go about this? Should we just do a vertical drain? And we're gonna get some quotes on that to see what really makes the most sense. Always get quotes to figure out what's going on. Don't just go with whatever anybody is recommending to you. Always try to figure out what's the best solution for that situation. Because for me, it made sense to leave the drain in one spot, but the sloping that's gonna go into that might have cost us an extra $1,000, because they would have had to break up the concrete a certain way and just made it a little bit more unique. So in this situation, it makes more sense actually to potentially even move the drain and center the drain so that the sloping doesn't really have to be affected too much. Now, something that's unique here, you'll see that this is all kind of broken open. This was a part of the bathroom as well. So we had a wall that came across right here, you can actually see, and there was this extra weird room here, which I'm assuming they used to have a vanity at some point in this room. Didn't make a whole lot of sense of having it, and then we had a really small primary closet. On the other side, right here, the primary closet, it would have ended right here at this point. So we decided, let's blow this wall out. Instead, we're gonna frame across here and make it a large walk-in primary closet, which is what people want in this price point, right? Let's go check out some of the other bedrooms and bathrooms and tell you some of the decisions we're making there. Another thing I want to point out with this property, all of the doors were in phenomenal condition. All of the trim was in phenomenal condition. We do not need to replace these. In a lot of houses, you'll see that they're banged up and we don't want them to be mismatched, so we'll end up replacing the doors. Here, luckily, all of the doors were in perfect condition. We're gonna leave it exactly how it is, just give it a fresh coat of paint and it'll be great. I do love the ceiling height already. You can see they've already scraped the popcorn ceilings in this hallway area, so already looking a lot nicer here. Walking our way into the hall bathroom. What was really unique about the hall bathroom in here is it was actually a walk-in shower. So it's almost like the primary and the hall bathroom were flip-flopped. Now that we're gonna be removing the jacuzzi tub, I told them, hey guys, this is already plumbed correctly to put a tub in here, so why don't we go ahead and put a tub in here. We're gonna tile up the walls. We'll probably do the 5x5 white Chloe tile that you guys have seen us do in other previous houses as well. We're trying to not reinvent the wheel here. We're using the same stuff that we know works over and over and over again. It's an elevated look. It gets people exactly what they're looking for. It's on trend, and we don't have to think about it too much, which is great. It allows us to really turn and burn a lot of these flips. Looking at the vanities over here too. So I've pointed this vanity out. You've seen us use it in Hannibal. You saw us use it in Dobson. It's the fluted vanity that we use from Lowe's. It is the best deal on a nicer looking vanity that you can possibly find. It's about $300 to $400 depending on the size that we're going for. Fluted, has the countertop already, has the hardware already, has the knobs already. All they really have to do is stick it on and install the thing. This saves us so much money on our budgets, and it looks really, really nice, and it looks elevated as well. Moving over to the next bedroom. One thing I will point out too with these bedrooms is that they're a really good size. I don't know if you guys can tell the scale of these bedrooms, but they're awesome sized bedrooms, as well as having all the upgraded windows that have all the picture frame glass on them. I mean, you really can't beat it. So we wanna make sure this place just looks really clean, really elevated, really nice. We're gonna do the same LVP that we do in most of our properties. That's going to be the linen flooring that we get from Bedrosians. We get that for $2 a square foot. So if you guys are looking for the hookup on those floors, make sure you reach out to me because they're usually $4 to $5 a square foot if you're going directly to Bedrosians. So hit me up, shoot me a DM, follow me on Instagram at Stephen Hunt. I'll get you the hookup on those. All right, and we have our final bedroom here. It's nothing too exciting. It's just another bedroom. But again, look at, we have the vaulted ceilings. Gives it that elevated look. We have the brand new picture frame windows, which is great. So I think this property personally is going to fly off the shelf. It's really hard to even find deals in the Chandler area because people are scooping these up so fast. We know we can push the price points. Right now, the ARV in this area is actually looking about $515 to $520, but I know that with the right finishes that people are not getting in this area, we're able to push that price point just a little bit. So that's why we're gonna go for the $535 price point and see what can we do here? Can we make it happen? So I'd like to know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think we can reach the new price point with all the upgrades that we've talked about, knocking that whole wall out in the kitchen, really opening up the entire space, giving the elevated bathrooms and both the primary and the hall bathroom? Let us know in the comments what you think. Follow along to see how this one turns out. So working our way out here into the backyard. It's not too crazy back here. This is a really low maintenance backyard. And for people in Arizona, that really goes a long way, especially if you're raising a family. Another big thing to point out about this house is there's actually a community pool, which a lot of neighborhoods here in Arizona don't come with a community pool. So you get all the benefits of having a pool without needing to actually maintain the pool yourself and have it for yourself. So really, you can make this entire area whatever you want to back here, but for a lot of people, they don't want to have to worry about having any maintenance in the backyard. People don't want to have to hire a landscaper. People don't want to have to put the extra work into the backyard. So this is a really low maintenance. People are really going to like this. I can also see an older couple really loving this area just because of the convenience, how close it is to everything, as well as a small family. So really excited to see really what happens with this entire property. So let's give you guys a breakdown of what this deal is shaken out to be. We purchased this property for $380,000. We're looking to do about $50,000 to $60,000 worth of work. Let's go on the higher end of that and say $60,000 because we always find somewhere to overspend on these projects. So 380 plus the 60 is going to put us all in right around $440,000, and we're looking to sell this property for right around $535,000. So it's giving us a gross spread of roughly $95,000. Now, that is a smaller gross spread than most of the other properties that you guys have seen us do. But the reason why we do that is because it's still profit, right? Money's still money. We know these areas are gonna sell really fast. Plus, we wanna be able to keep our crews busy. We don't want them to go take other people's jobs. So if there's not a lot of great opportunities on the market, sometimes there's these little onesie twosies that we'll pick up just because we like to keep everybody busy. We wanna keep the entire ball rolling, keep everybody fed. And now I know a lot of people think, hey, $95,000 spread, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? That's a little bit of money. Now we have to take into consideration, we have things like holding costs. We have things like all of the lender fees that come along with that. What are the agents gonna make on this? Are there any seller concessions? Is it actually gonna sell at $535,000? So $95,000 gross spread really isn't all that much when you start breaking it down. Sometimes you're only netting, maybe 10 or 20K, and when something might take 2 or 3 months of work to only make $10,000 or maybe even an opportunity of losing money, we really need to be careful about what opportunities we're taking on. So we want to make sure we're safe with the investments that we're purchasing. And in this situation, I think that we're really safe with this investment just because of how high in demand the area actually is. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see how this property turns out, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. So that way you can see how we have this final transformation come out. This should only take us about 3 more weeks from where we are currently right now. So I expect another video coming out in the next 4 weeks to show you what this Cindy Street property looks like. It is going to be a stunner, and I can't wait to show you guys the final product. So make sure you share this video. Make sure you're hitting the bell icon to get notified when the next video is coming out.